you feel or you actually saw some side effects because of jabs, if you know what I mean? Yeah, so they had 5 treatments in one appointment.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to go for BioNexus and herbal therapy?
Some people would say, oh, that's just behavioral. And I'm like, no, not really. When some kid is smashing their head on the floor, that's not behavioral. That's a problem.
The thing I liked about going on instead of going like on more of an adult-based cruise versus the kid cruise is if your kid's screaming, don't worry, the kid at the next table is screaming louder.
Welcome to the BioNexus Health podcast with Dr. Jodie Darshaw, who holds a PhD in integrative medicine, is board certified in integrative pediatrics, an internationally recognized pioneering clinician, and author. And now here's your host of BioNexus Health podcast, Dr. Jodie A. Darshaw.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to BioNexus Health presents Autism Uprooted podcast series. Today, we'll be speaking to a unique and dedicated couple, absolutely amazing parents of triplets. And Dad makes it a point to attend every single appointment. They both make it a point to attend all appointments together. An amazing team that have achieved fantastic results for their boys. I would like to welcome Kate and Rob. Hey guys, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for being here on a weekend. I appreciate you making the time.
Glad to be here.
The podcast goes to 89 countries, more than 89 countries around the world. I see clients in more than 89 countries, and it'll be very inspirational and helpful to other parents watching. So I'm glad you guys made it. So could you walk me through, begin at the beginning with, because I only see 2 boys.
Right.
Not all 3 from the triplets. One is neurotypical.
Mm-hmm. They were born 29 weeks, 5 days. 90th percentile for their week. They were all almost exactly 3.5 pounds, so all even. They were followed through Northwestern, everything normal. No issues noted. Feeder growers is what they called them. They came home within 6 to 8 weeks, still preemies. Everything still normal, and they always say don't compare kids, but it was good to have a comparison because we knew when they were about 1.5 years, something was not quite right with 2 of them, and it happened pretty drastically. They had an autism diagnosis by maybe 2.5, and we put them in ABA therapy, and they were there a little over 1 year, and then we had several therapists come up independently and just said, they're not autistic, right? And I said, I keep hearing this, so can you tell me more? And, they really couldn't say too much, but at the same time, they wanted us to know. And it was like 3 or 4 therapists independently. So I kind of took that as a sign. And we started seeing some biomedical doctors here who described a vaccine injury, and we went back and looked in charts and at old videos. And we could see within 6 weeks of those videos and a specific doctor appointment, Grant would be in his crib for 5 to 20 minutes, just lightly banging his head on the crib, and Andrew would just throw tantrums on the floor. And some people would say, oh, that's just behavioral. And I'm like, no, not really. When some kid is smashing their head on the floor, that's not behavioral. That's a problem. So we did take them out of the regular ABA therapy and just kind of started healing them from the inside out. And I would say one of them is definitely near a recovery. And the other, he's got a ways to go still, but I mean, he's making progress.
You feel, or you actually saw some side effects because of jabs, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Within 6 weeks, loss of speech, loss of eye contact, funny walking. Yeah, it was all together. And actually, a family member mentioned, do you think this one's autistic? And you know, it's I guess I didn't have any experience with autism really. I didn't really know what that meant, and so I just kind of went with it until people started saying no, they're not. And yeah, then we kind of looked back, but it was one set where I do recall that pediatrician saying, you know what, do you want to just catch them up? And I was like, sure, why not?
Yeah, so they had 5 treatments in one appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually it wasn't all a shock, because the third triplet did experience something after his 9-month, but I didn't really think about it until later, where he did have a high fever, about 104, but I had our other daughter 16 months older, so I had like literally 4 babies, and I didn't want to take him to the ER by myself. I had no one else there. And his fever did come down within a couple hours, like at 102. So, but he did have a reaction, but he fought that.
So what made you decide to go for BioNexus and herbal therapy?
I want to say we've tried a lot of things over the years. I think I heard about you on a Facebook chat room. I think is where I found your name, and then I researched it. My memory is not as good as Kate's on all this stuff, but I want to say that's how it happened. And you know, you had great reviews, and you know, we're like all the other parents that are listening to this. You'll try anything. You know, we've done, you name it, we've been there and done it. So that's how we, you know, found you and got set up and started moving. And we've been to other doctors before. I'll tell you the thing I like about what you do is you take the tests, which are outside of, because you know, parents are very vulnerable with this. They believe anything anyone says, but you know, when we talk to you and you show us these tests that are done by, you know, a third-party testing company, and you see your kids improve, you know, whatever, month to month between the meetings or the appointments, and you see, then you show, say, look at how his gut bacteria got better, and you're seeing the progress, but you're also seeing it on paper of why they're getting better. So, and you know, like we've had some flare-ups, and we've seen some of the behaviors and things kind of regress a little bit, but now they're starting to get better again. So, you know, at least you have something. You know, I'm not a doctor, I don't know all the stuff, but I can follow the graphs when you screenshot back and forth and you say, wow, look how bad it was, and you know, look at it, it's amazing that it's this low now or this much better. So yeah, it's been great, and we've seen great gains with both boys. I mean, no one's ever the same, but they're both making progress every day.
Yes, thank you, Rob, for the kind words. Doing lab tests and connecting the dots between various lab tests, and like you mentioned, you know, third-party lab tests, and seeing progress, once again connecting the dots when we repeat the test and seeing the change, the physiological and biochemical changes that are induced by various triggers. We mentioned about the jibber jabber, but you know, there are many ingredients in them that can be triggers for pandas, right? Tick-borne infections, Lyme disease, biotoxin illness, mold exposure. So environmental toxins were acquired. We saw those in the labs, and both boys are, like you mentioned, again, individuals, and they had their own individualized lab results, their own protocols, and they've come quite a long way. Can you speak a little bit about the improvements you've seen, where they are today?
I mean, and like Grant, I mean, he didn't talk till I think his 5th birthday. Like he didn't
No.
really,
He
or
did
Christmas.
ABCs by like 4, but he has the anxiety. We had a very good chiropractor who described it fight and flight. He said Andrew is a fight. He's a fighter. He's gonna stick it out. He's gonna try. He's a perfectionist. Grant is a flight. Like if he doesn't think he can do it, he's not even gonna try. So he used to go like behind our trees and start talking. So, but that's where he did like his ABCs, but he had an anxiety around us. So I think he had it in him, but couldn't get it out.
And now he's repeating anything you say to him, he can repeat. He says his own words. He can sing happy birthday, which to most people that are living with this, I mean, it's progress, right? You're seeing results. I mean, Grant used to only want to watch cartoons. Now he plays video games. I mean, and he can play video games and get to new levels and he's playing the same video games I played as a kid. And I'm like, man, I didn't even know that. And, he had, I don't know what the terms are, but his fingers weren't as strong as Andrew's with writing and stuff. And when he first started 6 months ago, he couldn't even push the buttons. And now he's getting to multiple levels into a game by himself.
He definitely had like the lead poisoning, like the droopy wrists and everything. And he still has some difficulties writing, but I also used to take offense when people called him lazy, and now when I can see that he does, I'm like, you know what, Grant, you are kind of being lazy. You can play this Nintendo. Granted, it's only like half an hour a day. It's not a lot, but it's something that's very normal that his brothers would do, and he can push it. And I'm like, you know what, you can write. So sometimes you just have to push him a little bit because he is a master manipulator. He is smart, but he doesn't want to do it. But we're going to make him do it.
So
I think that is kind of where Grant is. He's got the echolalia from some shows, and he's using it correctly. And he has a new speech therapist as of like the last month. And I think she is good. She's really kind of opening up more ideas as to why he's doing this. And she's using the Gestalt language and said he's like in 1, but she needs to move him to 2. And she said he's kind of getting there, but she needs to move him to 2, even to get further in academic. She said the language is actually holding him back currently. So yeah, he will answer, and sometimes he'll repeat the last phrases you say, or questions are very difficult for him. And this was true of Andrew also until about 2 years ago. Andrew would, if I said, do you want this? Yes or no? And he would just say no, or whatever the last thing was you said. No. Do you want an apple or banana? Banana, just because I said banana last. And so now with Grant, when I say, do you want this? Yes or no? And he'll say yes and no. And I'm like, okay.
he's been on the BioNexus speech protocol for a few months now.
I think over a year.
No, the speech.
No? Oh, the speech
itself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Overall, over a year. But
yeah.
That was a few months back.
I'm thinking maybe like 6 months or so.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, every appointment I'm hearing more and more language, and we are having spontaneous language conversations. My goodness, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm hearing good stuff from most parents. After 2 months on the speech protocol, on the speech blend, and a couple other. So this is great. Rob, you were saying that Andrew and Grant were able to sit quietly during deer hunting?
Yeah. Andrew, I don't have the picture right now, but Andrew and Charlie shot his first deer last year, and Andrew was there with them. And Andrew was, he was looking out of the binoculars, and, he saw deer walking by on our farm. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I try to give them every opportunity. Andrew and Grant both like going fishing for multiple reasons, but Andrew likes to reel them in. Grant likes to throw them back in the water. But
okay.
he always, like this morning, Grant asked me to go fishing. So yeah, no, it would have been impossible. The meltdowns. I mean, the thing I liked about going on a, like, instead of going like on more of an adult-based cruise versus the kid cruise, is if your kid's screaming, don't worry, the kid at the next table is screaming louder.
Right.
That's kind of the way I went into it, and we had no problems anywhere on anything we did. We did excursions. We went in a submarine. I mean, there were no issues.
In a
And that's all.
submarine.
Yeah, in the Cayman Islands,
Yeah.
we went in a small little submarine to look at fish at a reef,
Yeah.
and not a single problem.
Yes, and we found additional things to help them with when we ran the labs, when we started with them. So Kate and Rob, one thing that I vividly remember from your Disney cruise is you mentioned about the diet. There were just basic dietary restrictions. Gluten-free, dairy-free was maintained, but it wasn't like a very strict diet was followed. And you were also taking a break from their protocol while on vacation, sort of a break, right? It would
have been hard to bring all the little bottles.
Yes, of course, yes.
I get my cords taken away. I mean, before they're going to take up, they would take thousands of dollars of.
I'll tell you, like, they custom made desserts for them. One night there was schnitzel, and their grandma makes schnitzel. They love it. It's like chicken tenders. I had regular gluten, and they made gluten-free for everyone else. They made chocolate cake that looked just like everyone's else. That was gluten and dairy-free. I mean, whatever you needed. We did have to order it the night before. We had to choose their menu, but they did a phenomenal job with the.
Very easy to do. That's definitely a vacation if anyone is thinking about to do it. We had it booked through one of my friends, and she said, there are about like 20% of people have dietary restrictions on Disney cruises. So like our whole family's gluten-free except for Rob, and 3 of them are dairy-free. So it was not a big deal for them at all. Yeah, they took our orders the night before. We waited maybe 20, 30 minutes when we were there because they prepare them in another kitchen and they bring it. No issues. Yes, and when we do like even our beach vacation, I might bring like 1 supplement or 2 supplements for Andrew for calming, but they do take a break from that. And, we don't see any, I think just because they built it up,
right.
They're okay. And, sometimes I think it's even good for their body to take a little break and then get back on it. And there are no big issues. Like when we first started, when they were 4 or 5 and you skip something one day, like detrimental effects.
Yeah.
Right.
I think, taking a week off the supplements is good, but doing the diet, we had so many issues, which I'm sure other parents did, with constipation and not wanting to go to the bathroom, like to get to the point where they're potty trained. They tell you when they got to go, to take a chance of eating dairy and gluten and screwing that back up. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
And Disney did a great job. And I'll tell you, I would recommend a cruise over going to a theme park, because there was no waiting in lines. If you had a problem, you're back in your room in 3 minutes. Go down an elevator and you're in your room. Calm down, give them an iPad, relax, reset, go back out.
And that might have happened once, though. I mean, we didn't have an issue. And the constipation, I will say that was when they were like 3, 4 years old. And they were like just starting on the diet or something. They haven't had that recently. I mean, they're good. Even Grant was the last one, but I mean, he was potty trained at like 4.5, maybe. Number 2 might have been like 5-ish. Mm-hmm. But people don't realize. They think, special need. They're getting off the bus. They're like, oh, someone said they have to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, well, then he'll go. I mean, we don't take them anymore. Of all 5 kids, the little one still calls after she goes, but they're good about that. Andrew was, actually we had both of them, because we have the triplet boy, and then my daughter who's a year older, and we would send up to the slides, the ones that go all the way around the boat. We'd send Andrew up with Grace, Grant up with Charlie, and they would take them. They'd go in the double rafts. And, we just saw them going around the boat. I mean, they were totally fine. But they did have to stand in line there, maybe 5-10 minutes for a raft. They could do it.
But 2 years ago, they couldn't.
2 years ago, they wouldn't have been able to. No.
You mentioned one important point is that the body can take a break when things have calmed down within.
Yeah.
So I have, which is the reason why I made my travel podcast, which greatly reduces the number of supplements. If you're gone for up to a week, with your child, at a certain point in the protocol. Now that the body, we have addressed most of the triggers, things have calmed down, and you can take that leap. Another thing that the reason why I mentioned food on the cruise ship was because that got me curious. Like, you said there was no flare-ups, no PANS flare, no behavioral flares. So we said, I was like, all right, let's see where the gut is. And when the lab tests came back, that's when we saw that, the microbiome of a child labeled as being on the spectrum, it is so rare to see everything within range. And the lab test showed us that the microbiome was within range.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, eating out for a whole week for all meals.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining Master Herbalist Dr. Jody A. Dashaw, Director of the BioNexus Health Clinic and BioNexus Herbals, on the BioNexus Health Podcast, where we explore and share information and stories about recovering and healing from chronic and environmental illnesses such as mold biotoxin illness, Lyme disease, autism spectrum disorder, fatigue, Crohn's and colitis, mast cell activation syndrome, PANS, and more. Please help us grow our message by subscribing to our podcast channel and sharing the podcast on your social networks. For more information, visit bionexushealth.com.